Hello, Derek Bergener here. It is November 13th, 2017, and I finally get to do a trade review of a nice trade, a good, successful trade. So, on NKTR. So, starting out in the morning, this is my gap scanner from TC2 or from Trade Ideas. And I don't know if you know it, but in Trade Ideas, like this, it's like 11 o'clock at night right now. But if you'd go under right click and click time frame and use historical date, and I set 9:15 a.m. and click OK, and look, see at the top here, gappers 9:15 to 9:20. This is what you would have seen. So you can go back in time on Trade Ideas. So this is what I saw. So the first one, NVFY, $2.75, not interested. Too low. ZYME, not enough volume, 3,000 shares pre-market. NKTR, $41 stock, 686, whatever, a lot of volume, right? And it's not an earnings. See this earnings date? Earnings was like 3 days ago, so this must be news related. So anyway, put that away and put NKTR right at, see my gap Monday right here. Put that right away into my gap watch list for the day and check out the chart. And if you look back here, back on November 7th, I wrote a note, needs a pullback. That's this candle right here. That's November 7th. And then I had the levels marked out on that day, and then I must have been watching it on this day here because see I had the high and the low of that day marked out. And then today, bam, huge gap up. I mean, it was already overextended, so huge gap up, caught my eye, and I watched the pre-market, and it popped over this 42 and was coming back down. And see, this is the last candle right here on the right before the open. So I just, I didn't mark the high. I marked 42. I didn't think that the high was I don't know. I just marked the whole dollar. I don't know why I marked it instead. So anyway, I then I saw it pulling back, and this level right here at 41. Now I don't remember consciously thinking as 41 a whole dollar. I just remember consciously thinking, there's a key level right there. There's your, what was your support, and if it breaks that, plus, I mean, it's gotta pull back. So here's my capture of my the chart I watch from my trading platform, Dash Trader, and so what I did was here was that 41 level. I drew this line on the chart. If you press shift, this is in Snagit. If you press shift, it makes a perfect horizontal line. And if you right click and you say order, send to back, all right? Because I have this white mask right here it's just a white rectangle, right? So we'll reveal a little bit at a time. So during this there's the first candle at the open. And during that first candle, see, it opened right there and it popped up a little bit, and I was watching this level. Like I said, I don't consciously remember thinking, oh, that's 41, it's a whole dollar. I just was watching this level. And it went below this level, and it was vibrating up and down and up and down. And I remember one comment Pat made somewhere that, if it does that at the open, that's not a good sign. Or, I mean, that's a good sign if you want to go short. And I'm like, that's doing that at the open. It's vibrating. I need to get in right here. This is about to fail. And I waited till it got under, I think I got a 40.68 or something like that. I got 200 shares. And I was like, okay, my risk is supposed to be $50. So I'm like, oh man, I really need, this is about a 50-cent risk. So that means I should only have about 100 shares. But so I'm like, all right, man, I got to be really on my hotkey to bail, and if I lose $100, I'm okay with that. I'd like it to only be 50, but if it creeps up to 75 or something like that, I'm all right with that. and this is like an A+ setup, so I should be willing to risk a little bit more. And then the next couple of minutes go by, and it's still like I was like, oh man, this thing needs to just tank right away. And right on that candle right there, I'm like, yes, this is going down, baby. And then it came back up. But look at the tops of those wicks. It's holding the 41 and holding the 41. And, well, a teeny little pop above the 41 and holding the 41 and a teeny little pop. And I'm like, oh, I want more shares. You know, I think this is going to work. It's filled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles in a row. So I added 200 more shares right there. And I'm like, oh man, you got to really be hotkey, like boom, mark it out if this pops above that level. Or, well, I was willing to give it up to, you know, this 41.25. So anyway, next couple of candles, I'm like, oh, don't you dare. And it's still suspense. I'm like, oh my God, this is like watching paint dry. And then finally, like, whoo, okay. All right, and then whoo, okay. All right, so I'm cool. Yeah, that's good. And then let's see. So now I wrote this in a post that I put on Discord. A little bit of greed took over, and I was like, oh, this could be my big winner. And so I already have some profits, like I've got house money, okay? And this was forming a little flag here, pull up if this is going to trend down, it's going to pull up to the 9 EMA, and it's going to, you know, bounce back down, or, you know, continue down. So this green candle, this was like the pull up to the 9 EMA, and I'm watching this flag form right here, right? And I'm like, okay, I want to add. And I was going to add 1,000 shares, and I pushed the wrong button, and I added only 100. And I'm like, okay, that's a good thing. You only added 100. Just don't do that. Don't be greedy. So now I'm 500 shares in. Pulled my average down. But if it was going to run, I wanted like 1,500 shares, or that would have been like 1,400 shares. That would have been like so awesome. But, you know, but if it popped back up to where I got in, I didn't run the numbers, but, you know, I'd probably like broke even or something like that, or lost a little bit. So anyway, comes along, and this thing is like watching freaking paint dry. But I'm watching the 9 EMA, and I'm also, okay, we're at 9:45. That's 15 minutes. There's my 2 ads. There's that pop down. There's my other ad. If you look at the 5-minute chart here, and we can pull up to like almost just past, almost right there. You know, it's holding, like, this is in a clear downtrend on the 5 minutes. So I really wasn't worried about my ad. In fact, my ad looks actually pretty good right there. So let's go a few more. And I'm watching the 9 EMA, and like, this is holding the 9, holding the 9. And then this one was like a little bit worrisome, but go back and watch the 5-minute chart. Like, oh no, look, that's well below both the 9 and the 20 EMA on the 5-minute chart. No biggie. Nice little, you know, little pop there. That would have been another place to add if you wanted to. But I was like sitting tight. I'm like, no, don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. So there's 10 o'clock. I'm comparing the 5-minute and the 1 minute. And then I'm like, oh, this could pop up. This is at the 40. Yeah. So we're like, this 40 has to break. And then, okay, it's starting to break. Not really convincing, but it breaks. And I'm like, okay, cool. We're down under the 9 EMA. Candles go along, blah, blah, blah. Now we're up to 10:15. And now I'm also watching the 5-minute chart. Let's pull that up to 10:15. Or now it's 10:30. There's 10:15. Okay. But anyway, all's looking good. Holding under those. Yeah, and holding under the 9 there. And she's like, these couple of, like this flag right here, you know, this would have been like a sweet place to add once that broke. And it's like, yeah, but see, this isn't really trending hard, so I wasn't really convinced to add anymore, so I just let it go. And I'm just watching the 9. I'm watching for an exit point now. And I didn't want to take any off. I know we're supposed to. I didn't. I was looking for a reason to sell. And there just wasn't. So now we're at 10:30. And there's 10:30 on the 5-minute chart. And we cruise along here, dropping some more, dropping some more. And dropping some more, dropping some more. And more, and still no reason to sell. None at all. We're all the way up to 10:45. Right there. Look at that 5-minute chart. Looking awesome. And then now it's starting to, like, you know, like, it looks like this is sort of rounding the bottom here. So I started to get a little more careful, watching closely. And drops down a little, drops down a little. I'm like, okay, well, she's still going down. Still going down. And, you know, reveal a couple more 5-minute candles here. And no reason to sell, none whatsoever. I mean, there's reasons to add. You know, there would have been reasons to add right there. You know, right there at the break of that one. And then we continue here. And now there was the first, like, serious green candle to creep into the mix here just after 11. And there it is on the 5-minute chart. And on the next candle that seemed to be holding, I got out. So I basically, you know, held this for the whole ride down here from here to here, which was quite cool. I think my, yeah, copy, let's go over here, paste. So my close trade on that was realized 1117. That's my first, well, that's my second plus $1,000 day, but this was the most controlled plus $1,000 day. So anyway, that was exciting. That was fun. There was another trade I did, but I'm over 12, almost 13 minutes. So let's just cut this off. Hopefully that was helpful to somebody. And delete there. And that's all I have for tonight. Thanks. Bye.